king of Fomo.
What's up, everybody? King of Fomo here, coming at you with your daily crypto update. So today I want to talk a little bit more about Texitcoin. In my last video, I gave you guys just a little bit of a teaser of could Texitcoin hit $20. And in this video, I want to break down the exact how Texitcoin could hit $20 and the things to look for that potential case. Now, in my last video, I talked about how in 1 month, I've made about $1,000 in Texitcoin out of a $9,000 spend on those miners. And if we do hit the $20 mark and I don't sell anything, then that 1 month's earning is actually going to equate to about $12,000. So again, we're going to get into the how exactly, like what are the factors that can bring Texitcoin to $20. If you're new to this whole mining thing, I'm going to keep it really simple for you. It really comes down to 4 things, right? And those 4 things are the hash rate of Texitcoin, the amount of miners in Texitcoin, the price of the Texitcoin itself, and the amount of Texitcoins being distributed out to people every day. So those are the 4 factors, right? And we're going to talk about all those in a second. But before we do, let's just take a look at some of the general statistics right now. Right now, we're sitting at about 500 gigahash, right? So we're sitting at a hash rate of about 500 gigahash. If I look at the daily chart and I look, it's rising ever since the 6th, all the way up to where we are right now on the 2nd of August. We're at about 416 gigahash. So we're getting closer and closer to that 500 gigahash mark, and you can see that hash rate is continuing to rise. So we're going to come back to hash rate a little bit later to help understand how this company is growing, but let's go ahead and scroll down and look at a couple more statistics. Number 1, we finally hit the $30 million mark in terms of funds coming into this platform, being distributed to different people and being used on the miners. And the other key metric that you guys want to make sure you pay attention to is this new miners. Just yesterday, we had 246 new miners added to the system. So it's very important to see that new miners number, if that continues to rise, we're going to see that that's going to hopefully equal a much higher price. And I think that's the last thing I want to look. Oh yeah, the last thing I want to look at right here is the miners total, right? So the total miners that we have right now is 12,000 miners. This is the other number that you want to keep a close eye on to see, are we going to hit that $20 mark or are we slowing down here in Texitcoin, right? So let's take a look at some other things right here. I do want to go over the price of Texitcoin and the market cap for everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare Texitcoin to another coin that has a market cap that's 10 times higher, because that's going to get us close to that $20 mark. And finally, I do want to show you guys my wallet. This is, real stuff. I'm not earning tons and tons from referrals. Again, this is me just starting up the channel again. So this is 666 TXC tokens in my wallet. And it started, you can kind of see back to when it started. Not 9 days ago, but it started back in, you can look at my first video about Texitcoin. So it's been about a month since I've been into this thing. All right, so continuing on here, let's go ahead and look at some of the statistics, the numbers on, actually, let's talk about the $20 mark, right? So right now we're sitting at about close to $2, $1.81, right? And the self-reported market cap for Texitcoin is $88 million. So that's pretty high. But if we compare it to some other tokens that are in the top 100, let's go ahead and go back here and go to the coins. And like I said, we're going to go down to number 84, right? This is attainable. Lots of coins can get into the top 100 if they're popular enough and if they gain enough traction, right? You can see pump.fun is right here at number 80. You have some other tokens that they're not the best tokens in the entire world, but definitely it shows you that breaking top 100 is attainable. So something like a GRT is a token that's been around for a while, but we're going to compare it to formerly known as Phantom. If you guys are familiar with Phantom, this is the Sonic token, and the Sonic token is currently at a market cap of $876 million. So this is another layer 2 blockchain, not the most popular, but it's hanging in there, right? So I think that Texitcoin can definitely get there, considering that it's a proof of work coin. You might even compare it to something like Caspa, which is at more than twice the rank that this is at right now. But again, we're going to stick with looking at Sonic right now. Okay, so continuing on, right? So Sonic has a market cap of $876 million, while Texitcoin has a market cap of $87 million. So let's talk about the numbers of the comparisons, the four things I talked about earlier, right? The hash rate, the number of miners, the price of a coin, and how much people are getting paid out, right? So all four of those things matter a lot, right? So if I go back to the website here and we scroll all the way back up to hash rate, currently we're at close to 416 gigahash. And what happens with these miners is if you get more and more miners jumping onto the system, like we're seeing on the daily basis right here, you can see the new miners jumping into the system, hundreds per day. If you get more miners coming into Texitcoin and turning on their miners, then what happens is you're going to increase that hash rate, right? So when hash rate increases, that's the important thing right there. If the hash rate increases, what also happens is the amount of Texitcoins being distributed to the other miners starts decreasing, right? So I'm going to give you a scenario here. If I am a miner, and let's just say I'm a miner, I purchased $9,000 worth of miners, and I'm going to throw some hypothetical numbers in here so you guys can understand a little bit here. But if I purchased $9,000 worth of miners, and let's just say in 1 month, I got paid, let's just say 500 Texitcoins, and that 500 Texitcoins gave me, they're worth $1 a piece, right? 500 Texitcoins gives me $500, which is the price of Texitcoin at that moment. That's me as one singular miner, right? 1 month, I get 500 Texitcoins, which is worth $500. Now, as a miner, I spent $9,000 to get these miners. I'm okay with $500 a month because that's gonna, it's gonna give me a nice steady income, and it's also going to help pay off my $9,000 investment over time in a sustainable way, right? $500 a month, not too bad, right? So that's all good. Now, what happens is Texitcoin gets more and more popular, and you get more and more people joining the network, thus increasing the hash rate more and more. So we can say, let's just say that Texitcoin explodes in popularity over the next month, and all of a sudden, we have 10 times more miners now than we did before, and the hash rate explodes 10 times higher, right? So what that means is I'm going to be getting paid 10 times less Texitcoins. So let's put it back in the scenario. A month later, I'm getting paid, instead of 500 Texitcoins, I'm only getting paid 50 Texitcoins because so many more people jumped onto the system. We get, again, this equates back to what we were looking at earlier. These more and more new miners are jumping into here. It's increasing exponentially. Again, so the scenario is now, instead of getting paid 500 Texitcoins a month, I'm getting paid 50 Texitcoins a month. Now, as a miner, I have choice. I have some choices to make right here, right? So let's just say the price of Texitcoin remains at $1 just for the sake of the scenario. My choice is I could sell my Texitcoins, my 50 Texitcoins for $50 a month. Now, am I going to do that as a miner? Heck no. That's not nearly enough to pay off my $9,000 investment. It's going to take me years to even get close to paying off that $9,000 investment. I am not okay with selling my Texitcoins for $50. So what am I going to do? I'm going to keep them. I'm either going to keep them or I'm going to put them on the market to sell them for the price that I want them to be. Now, this is where things start to make sense a little bit here, right? Because I'm getting paid less Texitcoins and I'm still mining and I value those mining, I'm going to sell my Texitcoin, right? I still want to get $500 a month minimum. So instead of me selling my Texitcoins for $1 a piece, I'm going to put them on the market and sell them for $10 a piece. And all the other miners are thinking the same thing, right? No miner's going to sit there and wait for 50 years to pay off their their initial purchase. They're going to sell those coins for a higher price because they're valued at a higher price, right? So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense to you guys and help you understand the correlation between hash rate, amount of coins being paid out, and the price, right? And that's where you can see that was just a scenario of the hash rate increasing a lot, the amount of Texitcoins being paid out decreasing a lot. Therefore, the people that actually have the Texitcoins to sell, they're going to sell them at a higher price. So this can help you get an idea of how Texitcoin is doing overall. If you're looking at these new miners, if you're getting more and more and more and more miners, and you see more and more hash rate, then theoretically, the price of Texitcoin should be increasing the same amount if it's going up exponentially, etc., etc. Now, there are some caveats with this. There's some things that I personally, I don't have an answer to right now. Like, I don't know what the actual cost to run the miners are, because right now it's technically it's free, right? You buy the miners and they start mining for you. So those are some questions that I do have to have answered that you do have to add those. Like if you're looking at other proof of work coins like Caspa, it's part of the equation, right? The cost to mine changes things up for how much people are willing to sell their coins for and all that stuff, right? But nonetheless, that's a rough explanation of how Texitcoin can hit that $20 mark. If you're looking at Texitcoin, either you're in it, you're looking at it from the sidelines, and you see that hash rate rising exponentially, and you see the number of miners rising exponentially, and you also see the amount getting paid out reducing a lot, then you should see back on CoinMarketCap or wherever you're looking, the price of Texitcoin going up a pretty significant amount, right? And you know that's where hopefully we can see that Texitcoin getting to that 10x amount to where Sonic is at right now. That will put it at close to about $20, right? So hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of explanation. I know a lot of people don't really understand mining too much, so I wanted to give that explanation to people who are like, I don't really, this mining thing is confusing, right? And we'll talk more about it. If that was still too confusing for you, I'll try and break it down in a more simple way. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, if that helped you out at all, or if you're like, yeah, this project still sucks. I'm gonna stay out of it, right? We've got a lot to talk about on the channel in the future. I want to talk about Blue BNB. That one, guys, you saw me put in 5K in Blue BNB, and that turned into 2.5K, less than that right now, in a matter of like 4 or 5 days, right? It's down more than 50% in a few days. So we'll take a look at that, and I'll tell you guys kind of what's going on with that. But nonetheless, that's it for Texitcoin. If you haven't yet, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and peace out.